Hey guys, this is Sundaresh. I'm gonna teach you about the Chomsky normal form today in TOC. Uh, let's dive into the topic. CNF stands for the Chomsky normal form. As CFG is said to be in CNF if all the production rules satisfy one of the following conditions. The starting symbol should be generating an epsilon, or a non-terminal symbol should be generating two non-terminal symbols, or a non-terminal symbol should be generating a terminal symbols. Now let's take an example. The step one will be the simplification of the grammar. In that we have three types. The elimination of the useless production. In that we have two types in it: the non-generating and the non-reachable symbols. And second one will be the elimination of the epsilon production, and third one will be the elimination of the unit production. Step two: eliminate the terminals and the RHS of the productions having a length two or more. Firstly, we'll define the since the production is of the length 4, we'll replace the terminal symbols A by the non-terminal symbol CA, and finally we defined the newly introduced variable CA here, and we replace the terminal symbol B by the non-terminal symbol CB, which is the newly introduced variable, and we define the CB here, and similarly we'll do it here because the length of the production is 2 and the length of the production is 4, and we don't do it here because the length of the production is 1. And now we'll be moving to the step 3. It will be restricting the number of the variables in the RHS of the production to 2. As we can see that there are 4 variables here. We'll take the last 3 variable and consider it has a D1. In D1 we have 3 variables. Now we take the last 2 variables and consider it as D2. So finally you will get the CNF format. So this is how we convert the CFG to CNF for this question. Now we'll take an CFG with an epsilon production. The step one will be the removal of the epsilon production. Firstly, we will eliminate A tends to epsilon. In this question, we have to write all these productions here as this. And now we substitute epsilon here to get BA, and epsilon on the back we get AB. If we substitute epsilon in the front and back, we get B. If we substitute epsilon here, we get A, and we write B as it is. Secondly, we'll be eliminating the B tends to epsilon. And thus we write whatever there here as it is here, and we substitute B tends to epsilon. We substitute epsilon here, we get AA. If we substitute epsilon here we get A, and that's it. If we substitute epsilon here, we get B additionally. And now we move to the next slide. This is how we do the removal of the epsilon production. Now we'll be doing the elimination of the unit production. In this, we have to replace A by this set of productions and B by this set of production to remove the unit production. And third step will be the elimination of the useless production, and we don't find any useless production here, and will be introduced. Now next we move to the next step, introducing the extra variable to convert the CFG to CNF. Now we replace the last 2 variables by X, and we replace the terminal symbol A by non-terminal symbol A1, which is newly introduced, and we will be defining the newly introduced symbol here. So this is what the CNF format for the CFG. And next we move to the CFG with epsilon production as well as the useless symbols. In this question, we do the elimination of the useless symbol first. The first one will be the non-generating symbols. Non-generating symbol is C, because it does not generate any terminal or an epsilon production. So we'll eliminate the variable C. And for the non-reachable symbols, we have D, because we can see that A is producing only A, B, and C, and B is producing only B, and C is producing only C, and we should ignore this because we have eliminated the C production. So D is, we can't generate G. And now D is a not reachable symbol, so we eliminated D as well. Now we will do the elimination of epsilon production. we substitute epsilon, we write as it is, and we substitute epsilon here, we get A, and if we substitute epsilon here, we get A, and if we substitute epsilon here, again we get A, and third step will be the next elimination of the unit production. We don't find any unit production in the given grammar, so we move to the next step. That is, we introduce a new variable to convert the CFG to CNF. In this question, AA1 is replaced by X, and this terminal symbol A is replaced by A1 because the production length is 2, and A is not replaced because the production length is 1. And it doesn't matter if we replace the last two variables, the first two variables, but the final production should be of the length 2 or should be generating a terminal symbol. Therefore, the CFG is in the CNF format. Now, let me take an example, simple example to illustrate the elimination of the useless production. In this here, we have 4 set of production S, A, B, and C. Now, in this question, C is a non-reachable symbol because S does not produce A, S does not produce C, and A does not produce C, and B does not produce C. So we eliminate this one. And now B is a non. Nextly, we'll eliminate the non-generating symbol, and B is a non-generating symbol because it generates only itself, but not the terminal symbol or the epsilon production. So we eliminate B and C. So this is how we do the elimination of useless production. This is an example to understand it. That's it. And now we'll focus on the introducing a new variable with an example. This will mainly focus on the step 2 and the step 3 we have seen in previous slides. And now we suppose the given grammar is G. The G is defined by the set of production S, A, and B. We will simplify the first production introducing a new variable. In this question, we have replaced AB by X, and we have replaced the terminal symbol A by the non-terminal symbol A1, which is newly introduced, and we have to define X and the A1 production here. And now we have to see to the second production. We have taken the we have replaced the last two symbols. Firstly, we have to convert this to a set of non-terminal symbols, that is A tends to A1, A1, and A2. Now Y A1, A2 is replaced by Y, so Y we'll be writing Y here, and A2 is defined by B. And now the third production, C is replaced by A3, the newly introduced variable, so we define the production for it. Now all these symbols together form a CNF. So this is how we convert CFG to CNF for this question. Let's have a small recap of it. Simplification of the grammar, elimination of the useless symbols, the non-generating one and the non-reachable one, and then elimination of the epsilon production, and then elimination of the unit production. So if we follow this elimination process, we will get in simplified form of the grammar. Step 2 will be elimination of the terminals and the RHS of the production having a length 2 or more. That is, we will convert the small variables to capitalized variables. And step 3, and this is an important step, please remember it. And the step 3 will be the restricting the number of the variables and the RHS of the production to 2. We'll be replacing 3 variables by another variable like that. And finally, thank you for listening to my lecture. Hope you like it. Thank you. Fine. Bye.